Okay, one of the most frequently asked questions I receive on my YouTube channel is how do we design an optimized and effective Facebook ads strategy for our business? When we are running ads on Facebook, as you know nowadays, as a lot of things change through the pandemic, first thing first, the audience changed, that's for sure, because they are more savvy right now because of the pandemic. They are actually a lot more demanding in terms of the content, and they definitely know that you are running an ad, and they actually are very selective in terms of consuming advertisement. So at the same time, the technology has evolved a lot as well on Facebook advertising and meta advertising. Essentially, more things we can do when it comes to retargeting, and of course, when it comes to top level, top of funnel targeting, there are certain things that we can actually do and certain things we cannot do right now. So you cannot just come in and run just one ad and hoping you'll get the best result, out of it. I mean, the idea that I'm actually trying to convey here is most people actually don't buy at the first encounter with your brand. And you really need to build a strategy. And to be frank, you need to know what are the techniques that you can use to bring the right people in through the funnel as well. Because I also realized some of my clients, they were actually running ads and they were actually seeing very good result at the top of funnel, but there is no conversion. Now, when it comes to no conversion, in fact, there are many reasons. It could be the ad creative, okay? It could be the product that you're selling. And of course, there is another thing is it could be because you brought in the wrong people. I've seen so many cases like this. Very good CTR, very good cost per click and everything. But when it comes to conversion on the website itself, it's not working. That's why I want to actually walk you through my thought process when I'm designing a Facebook ad strategy for an e-commerce business so that you can actually use that to apply to your business. And towards the end of it, I'll be sharing with you a service that I'm offering right now to help you build your strategy and to develop and, to optimize your strategy within a, like 3-week period. So if you're interested, you can actually stay until the end so that you can actually look at what are the ways that you can come in to join this program. It's a one-on-one program. I think it's very beneficial because it's got to be a customized learning Facebook ads training for your business. So basically, when it comes to designing Facebook ad strategy, I would like to introduce my two-step funnel, which is something that I've been using since 2016. Okay, I actually spent about a year developing the framework. And because at that point of time, the reason why I built the two-step funnel was I was running an agency back then. And the biggest challenge I was having was when I was, when I was running ads for the clients, I was not able to achieve consistency. When it comes to running ads, right? Okay, sometimes result is one thing, but the consistency is actually another thing that is very, very difficult to achieve. Otherwise, you'll be having some campaign where, sometimes you have results, sometimes you don't, and you'll be questioning what's going on. Why do I not get results today? And yesterday I was doing very good. So, it was actually trying to achieve a consistency. And I was thinking, is there any way that I can actually build an evergreen campaign? The idea was I wanted to have a campaign that can, flow on its own. Immediately they will always bring people in and push people out when they have taken certain action, and we will always be able to retarget people at the best duration, and we are able to really build this flowing and continuously. I want a campaign that can run for long term, because otherwise I'll be answering my questions from my clients, and eventually I would not have a peace of mind on a day in, day out basis. So it took me a year to develop, and in 2016 I was privileged to be given an assignment to manage about close to R1 million within 6 months. So because of that campaign itself, I really got to implement whatever I've developed, and it actually came to a stable framework. And I was teaching that since 2016, to a lot of businesses, in fact, a few thousand businesses from all around the world. So when it comes to two-step funnel, first thing first, we have this top of funnel campaign, which is, I call it the tier 1 advertisement. Now, when it comes to tier 1 advertisement, essentially, we wanted this to be very introductive. We usually think about how can we actually introduce this product in a fastest way possible. You just have to imagine people look at your ad and they only give you a few seconds. And if they are not able to grasp what you are selling, and you actually lose the opportunity to introduce your product or services to them. So the tier 1 ad is usually about introducing your product to new people. And the whole idea here is we have to always reaching new people. So there are certain things we need to apply on the tier 1 campaign. First thing first, okay, there is this thing called audience qualifier within my framework. Now, when it comes to audience qualifier, that simply means how can we define if a person has taken action on the ad itself. Okay, so when I say taken action means they have probably click on it for sure, right? And they watch the video to a certain level, of course, and they kind of like the ad, for example. These are all indicators that indicate that they have taken action, they have consumed the content. So what are the things that we will be using? Basically, these are the few things that we can use to identify as an audience have interacted or engaged with the advertisement. So engaging is one. That's a basic one. Basically, everyone who have liked, click, share, play the video, and everything else would be categorized over here. And of course, we can actually go by viewed as well. We can actually target people who have watched the video up to a certain percentage. And of course, clicking on the ad itself will be a very strong indicator. And of course, most importantly, if they have clicked, visited, added to cart, and purchased, okay, that's the most important indicator as well. So the first thing we would do on the campaign itself is we need to learn how to exclude these people. The idea of excluding would actually help you achieve an evergreen campaign at the top level, because we were able to make sure that the advertisement are always reaching new people. Otherwise, when it comes to Facebook advertising, you have to understand Facebook always optimize for the most action. Now, when it comes to most action, it depends on what action that you're choosing. Let's say if you go for purchase. Now, Facebook would actually keep reaching the same people if they believe these people are very likely to purchase. So you might actually have very high frequency on certain people, and having high frequency may not be a bad thing necessarily, but if you are actually having high frequency at the top of funnel campaign, then you are actually risking, okay, wasting your budget on these people and not able to reach more new people. That's a bad thing to your campaign, because remember, the top of funnel, the tier 1 campaign is always about reaching new people. So applying exclusion is really the key. Now, once we have excluded this, right, then we will actually run a tier 2 campaign, which is a retargeting campaign essentially. Now, when it comes to retargeting campaign, we would actually do a few things. First thing first, we will be retargeting people who have engaged, view, and click, of course. So we will show them another advertisement that usually, okay, reinforces the key messages of your product or services. It's always about convincing these people to take action with you. And when it comes to this kind of campaign, we usually use certain techniques like vouchers, stronger call to action, highlighting certain what do we call the key selling propositions and stuff like that. So it's very important that you have to really design a journey in terms of the messaging as well. So these ads are usually very straightforward. And of course, that's one way. The other way around is I've actually seen some successful campaigns using a retargeting campaign to actually remind these people about taking action further. So there are many things that you can do when it comes to retargeting, but essentially, when it comes to e-commerce retargeting, in my opinion, I think the most important element here is about getting them to take the right action, which is purchase at this point of time. So another thing you have to bear in mind when it comes to retargeting, you don't want to retarget for too long. Because if you retarget for too long, for example, if you're actually selling this pair of shoes and you're retargeting these people for 30 days, for example. Now, if you go for 30 days, you are actually having challenge with two things. First thing first, 30 days retargeting might actually cause very high frequency, okay? Because they might be seeing your ad way too many times. Now, when it comes to high frequency, it might lead to ad fatigue, which means they might, grow bored on your ad, or they probably will even hate your ad, and that is going to leave some negative impact. And the third thing is you might be wasting budget as well, because most people nowadays, when they're considering to buy something, they would usually do the action within 7 to 14 days max. And if they do either it's buying from you or someone else. Otherwise, they don't buy. And this is probably something that you have to learn when to cut tie. That's why the retargeting duration differs from time to time, and actually differs from one business to another as well. So the whole idea here is we need to find an optimum retargeting duration for the business, for every business. So of course, if they have done something which is the ultimate goal that we want, which is purchase, we let them go. So if you look at the whole framework over here, you see an evergreen campaign. When it comes to evergreen campaign, first thing first, we need to have a tier 1 campaign, which is the top of funnel campaign. What we want to do is we want to always reach the new people. So basically, it's about reaching new audiences, introducing your product and services to the right people. And once they've taken action, you exclude them from seeing the ad. So that in turn will turn your tier 1 campaign into an evergreen campaign. And it will always reach new people for you. At the same time, your retargeting would actually help you actually warm these people up these people who have actually taken action, such as view, click, or whatnot. We will use the second ad to warm them up, to introduce more so-called key USP to these people, to convince them to take action. So the retargeting has to be for the optimum duration. We don't want to retarget for too long. We also don't want to retarget for too short. Otherwise, it may not have the impact. So we need to find a optimized duration. And like I say, every business is different. It requires a little bit of testing and experimenting as well. But of course, if you have been running ads, you can actually gauge from the previous visits from your normal top of funnel campaign. You can actually kind of gauge, the audience size that will go into your retargeting campaign and plan an optimum duration and budget for it. So that's another technique that we need to apply then. So ultimately, if they have purchased, then everything will go out. Remember, this is an ever-flowing framework. Always there will be tier 1 bringing people in, and once they have taken action, they will be pushed out from tier 1 and they will go into tier 2 if they don't buy. And if they buy, of course, if they don't buy to a certain extent, we will let them go. So this is an evergreen campaign. So what I want to say is, if you have set up this kind of campaign, essentially, you'll be able to have a longer running, longer term campaign. When I say long-term campaign, usually it ranges from 3 months to sometimes even like 18 to 24 months. I've seen a campaign that has been running for like almost 24 months, which is about 2 years, without changing the creative, without changing the audience targeting. It's totally possible. So what I want to say here is, instead of keep coming back and, thinking about the audience targeting, whether you have done it right, you want to change certain things and whatnot, or, keep on going back to think about, is this, the creative working? How can I actually create better creative and stuff like that? Why not we just build a campaign that can actually run for long-term and stable for you, and you can actually put your energy back into something else, which is about growing your business. That's the whole idea of building an evergreen campaign, which is using the two-step funnel framework. That's what I mean by having a Facebook ad strategy. Instead of blindly coming in, shooting the blank, keep trying different things from time to time, but although keep trying new things, but you are not really keeping track what is working or what is not working, because you don't really know how to track. So I want to give you some, a key, takeaway about each and every one of the layer of the strategy design when it comes to designing a Facebook ad strategy for an e-commerce business. So first thing first, we want to look at the messaging funnel. Remember, when it comes to the messaging, okay, the tier 1 campaign, which is the top of funnel campaign, is always about messages that attract strangers. So when it comes to this kind of content planning, let me give you some examples. All right. Usually when it comes to e-commerce, we usually use the product. But sometimes the product itself may not be appealing enough, because we probably want to, the product itself may be too new to the market, and we probably need a little bit of education. So some of my clients find video very useful, okay, because they actually introduce the video, as in like they showcase the product usage or whatnot in the video itself, which delivers the message to the right people and get the right people in. So video sometimes plays a very important role when it comes to introduction. At the same time, I have seen campaigns that are, they probably have been around for a while, or the product is not a new thing to the public. You can actually use the price as a key pulling factor for the, the top of funnel messages. So these are a few things that we will use. But of course, the benefit of us working together, if you actually opt to join my program later on, is we are able to, because I have a lot of experience running campaigns for a lot of people all around the world. So what I would do is I would actually come in and analyze your business for you. And I would actually do competitors analysis to look at what are the possibilities that we can do. And from there, we would define a few possibilities, as in like a few messaging angles or formats that we will use to actually use as our top of funnel campaign creatives. And from after running for a while, we will be able to know which one is really the effective one. So that's what we're going to do together. And then the key message here is, remember, is about attracting. You see, one thing I want you to actually stay away from when it comes to designing the top of funnel message is, sometimes a lot of businesses try too hard to sell at the ad itself. Now, hear me out. In my opinion, we do not sell at the ad level. We sell at the landing page. We sell at our e-commerce website. We sell using the system. But what we are trying to do at the top of funnel is we want to attract. And attraction means we want to attract with the right message, the right hook, and we want to attract the right people. That's the most important key thing. So several things at play over here, but that's overall the considerations that we will have about creating the tier 1 or top of funnel creative messaging. Now, when it comes to the retargeting, it's always about how to convince the bystanders. So a few techniques that you can use, and basically it could be pricing, it could be discount, it could be urgency, it could be highlighting the USP, it could be, really giving a very fantastic offer to these people when they are really warmed up. It's all about really convincing, and like the key here is convincing at the right duration, while they are really hot and warm up to your product and they are ready to buy. Because if you actually like run a retargeting campaign for a long term, then this may not be very useful. So the format here is actually very flexible. We usually use carousel, that's for sure, because if we use the catalog, usually that's the easiest part. But sometimes collection works better as well when it comes to e-commerce. We have seen some cases where the retargeting works really well when we are using a like a customized messaging, like, or even like what do we call the explainer video, that might work as well. So it's really depending on the business that you're in. How easily explainable is your business? How easily explainable is your key USP? Sometimes we need to look into all these factors when it comes to designing the messaging. So once we have nailed down the messaging, okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the funnel framework, as in how should we design and build our campaign. So remember, the tier one is always about testing the format. That's one thing. And the other thing that we need to test is, should we go broad? Should we detailed targeting? How many detailed targeting options we should be including in? And how do we define the effectiveness of it? And of course, the most important thing is we want to talk about who are the people that we are excluding from this ad to make sure it actually optimizes the campaign performance by reducing the frequency and really able to reach more people week in, week out. And of course, reaching more people is not enough. It's always about the performance as well. So this is a very important framework that we need to develop as we are designing the campaign itself. And the second thing is we always talk about the retargeting duration, as in when we are doing retargeting, okay, how long do we want to retarget? Depending on the products, depending on the audiences coming in from the top of funnel, it could be 7 days, it could be 14 days. Some actually wants to go up to 60 days. I just set up a campaign for a Canadian client. They wanted to go 60 days because they're selling something slightly more expensive and they want to actually build a journey that introduces more of these key features to them. I wouldn't say 60 days is a very good idea, but as long as the client knows what they're doing, I'm okay with that, because we can also do some control in terms of not actually pushing too high the frequency. We can still achieve some balance over here. So that's what we're going to do when it comes to retargeting. And another thing about retargeting is sometimes we want to consider a boost. Say, for example, what do we mean by a boost? A boost means, say, for example, if you're running a payday campaign, payday means we are actually running this like every month, 25th, we have a 1 day or 2 day sale, for example. So for this kind of campaign, you probably want to do a boost, like a few days towards the end of the campaign, so that you can actually remind these people in a stronger frequency. We get them to really take action within this period of time so that we can reap the most outcome from this campaign itself. That's why there are certain things to consider over here, really depending on the framework or so-called the campaign that you are running right now. And of course, the last thing here is once we have set up everything, we have let it run, we need to really look at the numbers that matter. So at this part, I do not actually want to elaborate because I have another video talking about what are the metrics that you need to look into when you are analyzing e-commerce Facebook ads campaign. I'll leave the link in the description so that you can actually go back to watch that. And basically, these are the 3 main important things or so-called pillars that we want to look into that. So the whole idea here is you need to understand the thought process of building an e-commerce Facebook ads campaign. And from there, we need to know what are the key elements, and of course key factors we need to get right before we consider this framework a completed framework. So that's what I said. Hopefully this video or this training up to now gives you a better idea about what are the things that you need to consider when you're building an e-commerce campaign. But what I'm actually offering you here it's very easy to find any Facebook ads related learning out there. To be frank, a lot of courses are free. And in fact, I'm actually doing a lot of free trainings right now. Go to my YouTube channel, you see a lot of like trainings talking about analytics, talking about objective selection, audience targeting a lot. I'm actually liberating all this. But to be frank, we have been trying to learn Facebook ads for the longest time. Okay, nothing beats learning while developing a plan for our business. So what I'm actually offering here is a customized learning on Facebook advertising for your business, okay, specially tailored based on your case study. I'm offering a done with you program. This is a paid program, yeah? Please don't ask me whether this is a free thing. No, it's not free. This is how I work with really serious Facebook advertisers to really build a framework and a strategy that really work for the business. It's about learning this once, knowing how it's done, and you'll be able to do it on your own, because everything in this program will be recorded. Consider this a customized training for your business, and you can actually keep it forever. So the whole idea about the Done With You program here is this. Okay, first thing first, like I say, it's 100% customized based on your business. Nobody else. It's just you and me, one-on-one. And of course, your team, if you want to bring your team along. So I would design your strategy based on your business, and the whole learning, setting up campaign and everything will be based on your business. So that's the beauty of it. So basically, this is a 3-session program. 3 session means, we're going to have 3 Zoom calls, essentially. So 1 hour per Zoom call, plus minus, usually is within that range. And these 3 sessions will be spread out within 3 weeks. So what's going to happen? Okay, the first call is what we call the strategy design session. So in this Zoom call, prior to this Zoom call, you're going to give me your material, such as give me your website, give me sometimes if you have some past campaigns and all that, allow me to go into your ads manager to analyze the previous campaign for you to come up with some conclusions and summaries on how we can actually do better in the next one. So the strategy session is where I will come in and tell you that, look, now this is based on my research. I believe this kind of ad will be useful for you. Let's create a video, talk about it. For example, we do a 1-minute video or 30 seconds video to explain, maybe to use it for the top of funnel or to use it for the tier 2 retargeting. It depends. But what I would do is I would actually give you the plan, as in like from content creation, okay, to copywriting, and even I would provide you some suggestion if there are certain things to be changed on the landing page. If I realize, hey, I think it's the landing that is causing people not to convert, so we probably have to do some tweaking and all that. So this is what we do in the first session. Okay, so I would not design the creative for you, but I will give you the direction and suggestions, and you will create it. And after that, once you're done, usually within a week, but some takes longer, some takes shorter, some actually get everything ready within 2 to 3 days, then okay, then we can jump on the second call. Now, the second call is the beauty of this. Now, the second call is I will be setting up the campaign for you, with you, as in like you'll watch me over a Zoom call like this. I will go in and set up the campaign in your ads manager, and we will be discussing, oh, this is what do we call, how do we choose the objective now? I'm going for sales, but let's talk about traffic if you have questions. Why do we not use traffic right now? Why should we use sales and what's etc.? So we were going to discuss everything as I'm setting up the campaign for you. And then after that, we just launch it. So in this session itself, I'll be creating the top of funnel campaign, which is the tier 1, using your creative that you have created, and the retargeting as well to set up. So you can ask a lot of questions, and you will always remember how I do this because everything will be recorded. Okay, so this is the beauty of it. So after the second session, we will usually let it run for at least 7 days to 10 days. Okay, and we will come back for the third session. Now, the third session is where we actually sit down, look at the numbers. We will analyze. First thing first, I will share with you what are the metrics that matters to you, to your business specifically. And then after that, I will build a dashboard for you within your ads manager. So you can always come back to that. And I will share with you how do we do optimization for your campaign. Say, for example, if the CTR is not working, should we reduce it or should we actually change? Or should we, what are the things that we should do when certain things is happening to your campaign? And I would also share with you how do we pinpoint and find out problems in your campaign so that we know what to fix. And also, of course, to know when a campaign is doing well, when to scale, how to scale. So these are the questions that we will be answering in the third session. Okay, so basically these 3 sessions is gonna really help you master Facebook ads in a totally different way. It's not a public training, it's not a recorded training, it's a live sessions, one-on-one with you. So you might be asking, how much is this? All right. Now, if you go to my Fiverr, you can see this done with you program. It's called Facebook Ads Setup Program in 3 weeks. I'm actually selling at $1,000 on Fiverr, but now because I'm actually accumulating some new case studies for my business, I'm offering a very, very, very exclusive and attractive discount if you're watching this video. So if you are interested to find out more about this program, first thing first, I want to highlight to you a few things. First thing first, this is not for everyone. I do not work with affiliate marketers with no solid business model, because I'm not saying affiliate marketing is bad. No, I don't mean that. It's just that I'm not familiar with, if you are actually starting out, for example, and you are not sure which product works better for your business, say, for example, I won't be able to help you because I'm not specialized in product testing. You get what I mean? I'm only specialized in optimizing a campaign that is already selling, that you know that this will sell, and you already have market product fit. And what you want is you want to get better result, reaching the better people, and really to increase your revenue. That's what I do best. Product search, product research, and all these things are not my forte. And also, I cannot work with businesses that yet to have a solid business model. Like say, if you're still starting out and you're still trying to say, for example, you're trying to find your profit model or something like that, it's not something that I'm very good at, because that requires some startup so-called coach instead. So what I'm actually trying to do here is with you, I want to help you build a Facebook ad strategy that fits your business 100%, and to build it with you, optimize it with you within 3 weeks, and to make sure within these 3 weeks time, you learn everything necessary to take this on your own after these 3 weeks. So that's the whole idea. So if you're interested, if this is something that you want to do and quickly, because the beauty of it is I'll be setting up for you, right? So everything will be up and running in no time. And you don't need to really like learn it and thinking about, oh, what are the audience to choose and all that. Totally cut short your learning and get a campaign up and running right away and optimize it to find stability. Remember, what we want is, we want to reach a framework that works, especially when we have, the foundation that is working. Keep going and start learning or start building on your business, like introducing new products or something like that. So we want to free you to do your business instead of focusing on the Facebook ads, which can be sometimes confusing and intimidating. So if this is for you, scan this QR code and schedule a 20 minutes call with me. Yeah, you cannot buy this, to be frank. Basically, you need to actually have a conversation with me so that I would understand your business. I want to see if I'm able to help you. If yes, let's come in. Otherwise, well, thank you for joining my universe. Feel free to, just hang around, join my free trainings from time to time and learn on your own. But if I can help you, I want to work with you. That's the whole idea. All right. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next video.